Jwithy, oh, calm
Oh
down.
my God.
Jesus.
That is the harshest review I think we've heard on this
Yes.
show.
Worst Xbox games ever. Come on. Welcome to Video Game Podtimism. It's the Optimist video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of gaming. My name is Chase.
And my name is David.
We've got a challenge today.
Yes, we do.
There have been, I would say, like a small handful of games that we've gotten suggested over the years to play, which is a critical, for anybody who's new, that's a critical part of our podcast, is that we will, we usually talk about whatever the hell we're doing. But then also, we take suggestions from listeners.
The tech bro came out of Chase there for a second.
God damn it. Yeah.
He's out of yourself.
My great shame are from our listeners, and they send us in their okayest games that they want us to play. And there's been a handful that we have either been unable to play or, and I think this is the case with all of them, the person suggesting it said they would like us to play this in person.
Yeah, together. It's a 2-player game, and they want us to play it together.
Right. And so a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, Dave and I got together and we played a bunch of those.
Yeah.
In person. And that's what this episode is a bunch of those games. There are 5 of them. And to put just a little extra pressure on ourselves, we've allotted ourselves 15 minutes each for each game to talk about them. We've also said, if we want to reclaim some time from one of them, like if we're like, all right, that's good enough on one of them, that we can add that time to a later game.
Yes.
So those are the rules.
These are the rules. We're rule setting right now. Everyone knows them.
So yeah, thank you to everybody who suggested these. I will be grabbing their names as we talk about this, but just wanted to say to everybody who suggests games, even if you're not on this list currently, thank you for doing it. It's very exciting, and this was a very fun exercise for us to like go and play these games too.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was a hacker man exercise for Chase too.
Yeah, there was a couple of games that we had to like really work on to get them to work. There is one that just simply didn't. So
yes, it decided no thank you.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure something out for that one eventually. But yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's do this.
Grip it and rip it.
Let's do this.
Grip it and manip it.
All right, here we go.
I held A and then released at the right time, so I got a boost.
Yeah, you got a boost. We got 3 extra seconds. All right. Oh my God, the timer is frightening so much just over there running already. The first game, this one is our oldest suggestion that we just have. It's so long has it been in our backlog. Thank you to Lou for suggesting this. They had suggested Anticipation for the Nintendo Entertainment Console.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say this part once. I have hot stats about each one of these games. I'm going to tell you about them. I also have a review of each one of them that I ran through Google Translate a number of times, one language into another, eventually arriving back out in English to get an artist interpretation. So I'm going to read all that shit for each one of these.
Chase is crumbling over there because with the timer just staring at him.
We're already down a minute, David. It's freaking me out. I gotta get some time back. All right, here we go. Here are the hot stats for Anticipation.
Let's hear it.
Hot stats.
Anticipation came out 1998. That doesn't seem right. Surely I fucked that up.
1989?
It has to be in 1989. 1988. Yeah. There's no way it was 90. Okay. I was like, that came out for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, no way.
This was made by Rareware, that you will know from Banjo-Kazooie and Perfect Dark and Donkey Kong Country. And also a little game you might hear about later, Snake, Rattle, and Roll.
Ooh.
Also made that one.
Wow. What a history.
I took for this review, I took it from the outlet called Questicle.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of a jump scare for me too, but they had the nastiest review, so I took that one.
It's 15 minutes, so I'm not going to go too hard on Questicle right now. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, great. All right, here's the review. This game needs to be played with other people. Only then can it be enjoyed. Laughing out loud at a game with friends will make your day less enjoyable. It's Sunday afternoon. You're sitting alone, without friends, drinking coffee, and wondering what's wrong with your life. Why am I,
a man,
playing a game where I have to wear high heels? Are the characters in the game real or just a haunting fantasy? And most importantly, do I really want to get to know this person? And they gave that a 16 out of 100. They did not like it.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
That one was amazing. That was so good.
It's really a shot across the bow for the first one. They're all pretty good, but that one was really, really something special.
What am I, a man, doing playing a game where I wear high heels? Is that what it said?
Yeah, a little weird. I think maybe Questicle needs to dig a little deeper.
Did JD Vance write this review?
I know, yeah. What the fuck? Like gender exclusionists who are like, I don't like that I have to play as a high heel.
Where's the tank? I want to be the tank.
Where's the balls, man? Could you tell me what Anticipation is, David?
Yes, Anticipation is a 4-player party game for the NES. Mm-hmm. The crux of the game is that everyone has a different. Now I'm freaking out about the time of it. Mm-hmm. So everyone has a little icon on the screen, and it's like a little game board. You go around in a circle. There's 4 tiers of this game board that you go around. You roll a dice or roll something. You just go a certain number of spaces, and you land on a color. The color will determine what type of shape is drawn, right? So that's really what you're trying to do, is you're trying to anticipate what shape is being drawn by the game at any moment. So on the bottom level, where it's the easiest, it gives you like an outline of dots, and it's like connect the dots as being filled in. So you can kind of guesstimate what exactly is being drawn for you, and they just draw line by line, right? So there's no like curves or anything to these drawings. It's just straight lines. So that's already kind of like an artist's interpretation of these objects you're trying to anticipate. And when you answer, you have to spell it correctly, first of all, and you go letter by letter. And so if you get one wrong, it automatically beeps you out, and then someone else can like steal it from you at that point. So once you answer 4 puzzles, we'll call them, correctly, you move up to the next tier, and it like slowly gets a little bit, ascend. Yeah, you send up 1 tier, and it slowly gets more difficult. So I think like the second tier, they don't give you any of the dots, and then it just gets harder from there. It's just like more complex drawings, things that are a little bit more esoteric.
Yeah, that's it. It's essentially a quiz game, like that you're just kind of buzzing in to figure out like what the answer is at any point.
Yeah, so it's slowly drawing these things, and then whoever buzzes first gets to guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a pretty ridiculous game, like on its face. Like everything in there is really weird. The choice of like board game pieces is bizarre.
Yeah. What are the pieces?
Apparently one of them is a high heel.
A heel. The audacity of a high heel.
Me, a man.
Drinking black coffee with no cream or sugar because I'm a man.
And I can't wear a high heel. What does that mean about
on a
me?
Sunday morning after praising Jesus?
Yeah, like, hey man, put the high heels on. See what it makes you feel. Are you running from something?
Yeah, maybe he is running from something, but I will tell you for sure, the high heel will probably make the back feel bad.
Yeah, the back is going to feel bad. But what are you going to feel about that real hardened gender you got there, fella?
But the legs are going to look fantastic.
That is true. Yeah. Try that out. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe it'll help.
I liked this game.
I had a lot of fun with Anticipation.
It was pretty fun. It's like such a silly game, and the drawings are like borderline uninterpretable sometimes.
Yeah, I think there was one that it was completely done, and neither of us were buzzing in because we're just like, what the fuck is this thing that we're looking at? I think it was supposed to be like a desk or something. I'm like, I have no idea what this is. Just a box. You've drawn a box with like a couple little lines on it.
Yeah, and it is fun in that sense because it is just like you're kind of laughing at what's happening here. And whenever the AI like chimes in to get it, and it like, I think it just intentionally misspells a lot of shit, but it leaves like no room for misinterpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it'll type in like lawn mower, and then you're like, well, I think I've got a pretty good idea what it might be.
I think you zigged when you should have zagged there with the B game.
Yeah. Which is sort of hilarious, and I think also kind of suggests that this game was probably meant to be played by like kids.
Yeah.
Because like spelling would have been an issue. Although there was one that kind of fucked me up. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember which one fucked you up, but there was one that we didn't give the full name that it wanted. But we were getting the right answer.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So yeah, sometimes that happens. Like if you don't use the right word for it, but it's like synonymous, that's kind of frustrating. Or yeah, sometimes you get, flashbacks to first grade spelling quizzes where you're just like, oh God, how do I spell this word?
Exactly.
Because it's a timer. You have to spell it within a certain amount of time.
Right, yeah. Which is, I don't know. It was fun. It was cool. I also absolutely understand why you need to play this in person. I think this game is not fun if you play it on your own. Like,
no, this would not be a fun time with just 3 computer players. Like with one other human and 2 computers, it was a good time. I think it'll probably be even better with 4 people. But
yeah,
the best part is buzzing in and then people just being aghast as to like, how the fuck can you know what this is? And then you just firewalk it.
I almost forgot. You just like absolutely dominated the first like half of this game. Like I had gotten like 1 point by the time you had gotten like 10.
Yeah, Chase got caught flat-footed with anticipation, and I was just zooming. I was like on tier 3, and he was still on tier 1, just scooting around.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You were like meant for that video game.
You almost pulled off the comeback, though. You got close.
Yeah, it was close. I feel like the game weirdly does a pretty good job of making it not like the blowout isn't always super possible.
Yeah,
because like the ones that you're landing on are pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
And also like you're still competing with everybody else. So it's not like you could get that far ahead. So I don't know. It just felt like I still had an opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Plus just the randomness of like to move up a level, you have to collect like all 4 colors of categories. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that makes it sort of challenging to, just get them all. Cause there's a lot of times you were like 1 color away from going up or winning. Mm-hmm. And we just kept landing on other shit.
And you're just not getting it.
Yeah.
Or it gives you that opportunity to choose the color you want, and you just keep on hitting the same square that lets you choose the color you want.
Yeah,
that was a fun time.
It's like the game at Chuck E. Cheese where there's like a big spinning circle with like a light that's like darting around the circle, and you have to stop it in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but you can try and choose a category, but it is quite difficult to do.
I accidentally chose the same square that I had landed on like 4 or 5 times, and so I just got stuck in this loop of just constantly going around the circle, like trying to hit something that I wanted, but just being very unsuccessful.
Yes. This was, I will also say this was early in our Topo Chico marathon. Of that day, because we played most of these in the same day. I think this was the first one, so we were largely still in our element.
We were still in our right minds at this point.
Yes, yeah, which was good. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other similar games. I don't know that like games quite like this exist. That's not true, because like 50 worldwide classics feels kind of like this.
Yeah. I'll say probably the closest thing that this feels like is like it would be one of the games in a Jackbox party pack.
Yes, yeah.
It wouldn't be the only thing, right? But it would be an option, and they would, spruce it up a bit with a sassy voiceover host or whatever, some snark. Yeah. A copious amount of snark thrown over the top. New coat of paint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if I had played this in a Jackbox Party Pack game, I wouldn't have been surprised. Or if like they made you like draw something and then like some algorithm turned it into like just a line drawing that it would then draw for other people. I could see that happening.
I mean, isn't there a game in Jackbox? Isn't Drawful essentially that? Like
Drawful is essentially that. It's true, but you're just drawing your own thing.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, like honestly, I would love it if they just transposed this over to Jackbox, because like it is pretty tough to use a controller and to type something out when it's just a line of letters across the screen. Like, I would love to use my phone.
That QWERTY.
Yeah.
Gotta hit it.
I would even take T9 at this point, T9 texting. That'd probably be faster than this.
My thumbs still remember those patterns, the cadence of T9.
Yeah, I thought about the other day and I was like, I don't think I know it. And then I was like, let me just pretend to hold a phone in my hand and see if I can. Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, you remember. There. That's not something you forget. That's riding a bike.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's millennial Morse code.
Yeah, I think so. That like, it's so bizarre because like that. No, I guess I was about to say that that's like our generation's thing, but I think that there were phones prior to that where they would be like, call 11 or 1-800 your dad's basement or something, and like that would be the phone number for some.
It's true. People still used it, but not to the extent that we abused it.
They weren't using it to communicate with each other. It was just like, I know some letters on this thing rather than like,
I'm a business and I wanted to make like something memorable for people to call me.
Yeah. Rather than like, I'm going to ask my 6th grade friend out on a date with this T9 QWERTY keyboard.
Got to do it. Had to do it to him one time.
Had to do it to him one time. Yeah. It's cool.
All right, how are we doing on time?
We got a minute left, David. We're kind of we're cruising into the finish line here.
I enjoyed anticipation.
Me too.
Enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Definitely the anticipation is the fun part of the game where you're like, you got the hot button as you're watching this thing get drawn on screen and you're like looking at the other people, seeing if they're going to buzz in or not. That's fun.
Yeah, because like, I feel like it was pretty frequent that we would buzz in and still take a second and be like, oh God, what is this? Like, I don't really know. I was just kind of hoping that I would have enough time to digest
I felt
what
that
this
he was
is.
going to buzz in, so I decided I'm going to buzz in and just try to send it.
Yes,
Jesus,
exactly.
take the wheel.
Such a thrill. So yeah, I also liked it. It felt much more like a board game in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
despite the fact, like, I think it is a pretty, like, the digital component is pretty necessary of being able to like have something automatically be drawn and then actually, buzz into it. So
yeah.
As much as it was like very board gamey in its idea, it's couldn't be anything else other than a video game, baby. And that's video games.
Couldn't be anything else but a video game. That's video games, baby.
That's video games, baby.
That's video James.
That's video James. Any other zingers? We got 15 seconds.
I just kicked your ass at this game. I gotta say it.
I did get pretty rocked. I'm not even going to deny you on that one.
You almost stole it from me, but it was fun. It was a good time.
Yep.
Next one.
3, 2, 1, go. All right. This next one is called Raskulls. This was suggested to us by Rob I.
Wait, are you going to do hot stats for all of them?
I am, yes.
Hot stats.
I know, I'm just fucking with you. Continue.
Oh, I was like, yeah, no, I said that a second ago.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so fucking gullible. Okay, so Rob, I had to say about Raskulls. Raskulls was the party game of choice for me and my friends back in the 360 days. It was a weird blend of a racing game mixed with a bit of Dig Dug and Tetris. I highly recommend trying to play it together, if possible. We did. Some more hot stats about this game. Hey, Rob, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This game came out December 29th of 2010 for Xbox 360. This was an Xbox Live Arcade game, which I just feel like it has Xbox Live Arcade written all over it. Like, this feels exactly like an Xbox Arcade game. Which I guess for anybody who like wasn't around, it was just like a series of games that Xbox was putting out on Xbox Live that were like, I think intentionally intended to be like indie games and like for, from smaller people, smaller like developers, I should say. If I remember correctly, Bastion or no, Braid might have been one of these two.
That sounds right.
Yeah, one of the two. I don't remember exactly which, but yeah, it was just intentionally trying to be like, all right, let's make some smaller games, which I think is cool in concept. This was made by Half Brick Studios, who seem to be the folks who built Fruit Ninja.
Whoa.
I was like, some pedigree. Also, Jetpack Joyride, which is also another fucking heater.
A big iOS game.
Yeah, mobile game. That's wild. Yeah. And then also, Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger 2.
Bush Rescue.
Don't say Bush Rescue like that.
Yeah, there is a certain emphasis that you can put on it that makes it feel like a very different game.
But they did number 2, not number 1.
Apparently, that's what it said on Wikipedia. That might be wrong. I do have a review from this game by 3D Juegos.
Love it. Let's hear it.
They had to say, Raskull is a slot and puzzle game that offers a variety of gameplay challenges. Challenging either end of the scale is a sin. There will be many levels where others can beat us in the first attempt because we face many difficulties. This proposal is so interesting. It's sad. The game is amazing. It's fun and addictive, but there is no, quote, supplement, unquote, available.
That's it?
That's it. They gave that a 7 out of 10.
What supplement are they talking about?
It's a little alarming there, isn't it? The implication is a little frightening.
Yeah. And they're talking about sin?
Yes. Changing either end of the scale is a sin, of course.
Changing either end of the scale is a sin, but make sure to take your supplement.
Quote unquote. Yeah, that's something. We're not seeing something here. There's a context that we're missing.
Supplements actually in quotes?
It is, yeah, quote unquote supplements.
Oh, no. Oh, man. This is not FDA approved.
No, absolutely not. The Food and Drug Administration do not know about Raskulls.
Yeah. And any supplements that come with it.
What is this game, David?
This game is a 2D side I wouldn't say side scrolling, but you view it from the side because you also go down.
Yes.
Racing game where you're not like racing in carts. You're just like foot racing, 3 other skeletons, essentially. And so but pretty much the description that our listener gave was very accurate. So you run across, and then there are certain areas where you can like dig down and go down deep, but then you have to make sure that you're going in the right spot. You're digging in the right spot because there are like bricks that will fall down on you if you are underneath an area that you then dig out. You can get squished, and then that's going to be bad for your time, right?
Yeah, like slows you down.
It'll slow you down quite a bit. There are little areas where you can get a boost, which is always fun as well. But yeah, you're pretty much just going horizontal and then vertical, up and down. But really, I think where the game shines the most is like the up and down portion where you're digging, because you really have to like be fast, but also think. And then you can also kind of screw people over. If you see someone going somewhere they shouldn't, you can just like dig them out a little bit and just squish them, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made for a very tense racing game, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty fun.
I also did. It's so bizarre. This is such a strange concept for a video game that I was just immediately like, all right, cool, let's do it.
It's a very, I've never played a game like it, that's for sure. I don't know if you need to make any other games like this, because like this one still exists and is playable and it still plays very well, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, just an interesting confluence of ideas that somehow works well together. Like on paper, it's like, this does not make sense, but you take a bite and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It all works together.
Yeah, it all works together.
Yeah, I agree. Like a racing game that isn't in a vehicle, my brain is just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. First of all, that's weird. This is the first thing I think, at least.
But it's cool. It's like isn't there in like the Smash Brothers single player? There's like the break the targets mini game, but then there's also one where I think you just have to get to the end, like it's like race to the finish or something like that.
Oh yeah, there is.
I'm specifically remembering it in the N64 version. It feels like that, but with 4 other people there too, or 3 other people, I should say.
Sure. Yeah.
Where like and you could play this game alone and it would still be interesting if you were like on a timer or something like that. But the presence of other people really ratchets up the intensity, because you're just trying to race your race and then somebody's like digging way like up above you and you're like, oh, this is going to end very badly for both of us here. Which is cool. Yeah. Like it immediately just makes me think about how to play the game very differently. Like I have to consider different shit than normal when I'm playing like a racing game or something. It also does the great thing in Mario Kart where like if you're in first in this game, oftentimes they won't give you the really cool shit from the items. Yeah. Not that you won't like, not like in Mario Kart where you will pick something up and it just won't give you the good stuff. It's like it literally won't even spawn until the person who is in first has like walked past there, which is fun. Like it just kind of adds to the idea of like you're never that far out of it.
Yeah. There's a chaos element to it.
Yes. Yeah. Which it feels like that is definitely part of the appeal, is the just kind of madness of it all.
Yes. Yeah. This is not a competitive racing game.
Not really. Yeah. I'm sure we could have gotten like a little bit better at it over time, but like it feels like in the same way that you get better at Mario or Mario Party, where it's like, I know the mini games, but at a certain point there is just, it's going to be chaos. Like,
yeah. Chance time comes for us all.
That is true. Yeah. It giveth and taketh away. Yeah. It was cool that it was on like Xbox. Like you and I bought this and played it.
Yeah.
Which was neat. I was glad that we were able to like play an actual version of it rather than like having to like emulate it or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that Xbox has been pretty good at preserving their games digitally, it seems. So
yeah, absolutely. And it is cool that like, I don't know, I don't think I can see like every bit of Jetpack Joyride or Fruit Ninja here, but I feel like there is an approach of just like, how can we make something novel that is really cool and put it in this game?
Yeah.
And like this, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like part of this does feel like a mobile game where, and I actually think I mean that in a good way, where it's very concise. Like it's pretty stripped down to just like, what are the only things we need in this game to make it fun? And like, I think that's part of the appeal of Fruit Ninja, is that it's like,
bare bones,
just slice and fruit. Like that's it.
Yeah. Simplified.
And yeah. Whereas I think that this one is simplified, but it comes with such a novel premise that like, that's the good shit. Like that's what makes it fun, is that like I haven't seen a foot racer really before.
A foot racer, a dig racer?
Yeah, a dig dug racer.
Dig dug racer with some
like,
geometry.
I think there was a Sonic game, like Sonic R or something, where like you ran rather than drive a car or something. But
you could do that in that Sonic Riders game we did. Sometimes you'd be running.
Yes, yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I don't know that very many people are still talking about Sonic R, although I'm sure I say that and there will be like somebody in our audience will be like, hey, it's me. I like Sonic R.
The Sonic R subreddit will get wind of us and be like,
Yes,
all right, we
yeah.
got to take these fuckers down.
Time to brigade their podcast. Yeah, Raskulls was great. I can absolutely see this being a 360 era, like, let's get together and play this, because I always felt like I had a chance, which is always a really good feeling for like a multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you walk into like, everybody's playing Melee and they've been playing Melee for 20 years or something. And you're like, I don't know if I'm going to have such a good time here.
Yeah. No items, Final Destination, Fox only, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Raskulls felt better because like, even if you hadn't played before, if you've just played a video game before, it's like, I could probably figure this out. We could get this going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy to move. You don't need a wave dash.
Yeah. No wave dashing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to say about Raskulls?
It was fun. And I liked the name because it's skulls and they're skeletons.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
This was
a good little pun.
Yeah, it was a nice pun. Love a pun in a video game title. Thank you, Raskulls.
Thank you, Raskulls.
We've reclaimed 4 minutes for a later game.
Oh, great.
Wow. Here we go. All right, on to the next.
Yeah.
Ready, set, go!
Okay. Hey, third game.
We're going to do hot stats?
Yeah, David, we're doing hot stats.
Okay, cool.
I love the bit. It's getting better and better.
It's your favorite bit, I know.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Hot stats.
We got suggested to play Fuzion Frenzy from listener and friend Stephen B. This is a Seattle local.
Ooh.
Who I also know listens. Hey, thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen.
He had suggested to play Fuzion Frenzy, and on the topic of the game, he had to say, this was a game we used to play while underage drinking in high school. There are a bunch of different games. They all require little to no skill or experience. The mode we spent by far the most time playing was essentially a corkscrew, where your only objective is jump or duck. In a party setting, it's surprisingly fun. Grab some Bud Heavies and get ready for friendly competition. I know from experience, Steven's referring to Budweiser, just the regular kind, which he refers to as
Heavy,
Bud Heavies,
instead of a Bud Light.
Instead of a Bud Light, yeah, correct.
Gosh, yeah.
It clicks into place and feels nice when you kind of get there, yeah.
Sure, I get it. What if they made like a more caloric Budweiser and called it Bud Heavy?
Thick Bud. This one has more calories in it.
Yeah, if your doctor is concerned about your alcohol intake, drink a Bud Heavy.
I only had one drink, Doc.
Exactly. It was 500 calories.
Yeah, it's just so thick. It's like a milkshake.
Oh, no. It's just a malt beverage.
Fermented milkshake, yeah.
Ooh, man.
So, Fuzion Frenzy came out November 15th of 2001 for the Xbox, the original Xbox.
Wow.
This was made by Blitz Games, who, of course, David, we've talked about them before.
Really?
They made Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge.
Oh, wow.
Bratz, Rock Angels.
Oh.
And Sneak King, David.
Do we just need to do their whole discography at this point?
Yeah, just do this episode, but for Blitz Games. There's got to be some bangers in there somewhere.
That wouldn't be a bad idea for some of these deeper cut publishers, game developers.
It might be hard to come upon some of these games though too. Like
absolutely,
even the ROM files might be like buried under some derelict website somewhere.
People are like, if you want to play Bratz, that's fine. Here you go.
Yeah,
could be a banger. Who knows?
There might be like a huge Bratz Rock Angels niche community.
I mean, I like the secondary title there, Rock Angels.
Yeah, it is good. And of course, that is Bratz spelled with a Z to clarify.
Yes. The brand Bratz.
I have a review from Jwithy, which I explained what that is earlier, and I'm going to read it to you, David.
Let's hear it.
Simply put, Fuzion Frenzy is one of the worst Xbox games ever. If you're a big fan of third-party games and want to complete your collection, we recommend that you skip this game. In fact, you should open your wallet and put more control over it. Save your money with the right name. And they give that a 4.5 out of 10. Jwithy, calm down.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
That is the harshest review I think we've heard on this show.
Worst
over 200
Xbox
plus
games.
Episodes.
Worst Xbox games ever. Come on.
If you're trying to complete your collection, we recommend you don't get this one. Get something else.
Damn.
Wow, man.
I had known that you hadn't played Anticipation or Raskulls. Did you ever play Fuzion Frenzy?
I definitely did. I'm pretty sure we played it together.
I was going to say, yeah, I think I had gotten it because I'm pretty sure I got an Xbox like close to launch. And this was like, I think within the kind of launch window. And I suspect it was like a rental. Which, sorry, not to put the age difference between you and I on blast, Stephen, but I was like 10. No, I was 11 when this came out. So I simply wasn't drinking Bud Heavies, but you and I were still playing video games together.
We were drinking some Sprite Heavies.
Yeah.
And fully loaded Cheez-Its.
Yeah, Sprite Heavies and Turbo Pizza is what we were doing.
Turbo Pizza. I like Turbo Pizza.
What is this game, David?
This game is essentially a Mario Party like. So you choose a character in the beginning, and then you go into like this is like a futuristic city setting, and all the characters have some real batitude. That's for sure.
do.
And you just go and you play little mini games, which largely revolve around like gathering orbs. A lot of them revolve around gathering orbs. So there's like one where you're in a hovercraft trying to get orbs, one where you are on a level with like different tiers to it, and you have to jump up and down and like grab the orbs. You can hit other people to get their orbs, and you have to bring it back to your spot, kind of like a capture the flag sort of deal. But yeah, just a lot of varied different games for you to play, and then at the end somebody wins. Whoever wins the most games or gets the most orbs, I think. Yeah
I think it's you win games and that gives you like orbs at the end of it. And then there's like a final mini game, I think, where you can, I think, wager certain number of
that's
your
right,
orbs,
you can bet your orbs,
which like it's interesting. It's kind of this like balance of, if you wager more, then obviously you have like a bigger chance to like win big. But if you're like so far ahead, then it also is like, well, maybe I don't wager that many because like there's no chance for these other people to like even catch up to me. And so it's a kind of interesting balance where you have to most of the time weigh your options of like, well, do I want to take a risk on betting big and maybe going farther, or do I think I can like mostly beat the other people so they don't get that high of a score and get past me?
There's some Jeopardy wagering going on.
Yeah, correct. This game is really hard.
This game is very hard. I don't disagree with Jwithy.
I don't think I would go nearly as far as Joe did.
That's fair. I wouldn't go as far as Jwithy. But I don't know.
It kicked our ass when we played it.
It kicked our ass. And in the cold light of day of 2024, where Mario Party Jamboree exists.
I know. Yeah, that's part of the problem.
I don't think it ages well. I think for its time, this was a very competent minigame game, but it was a little rough around the edges going back to it, I would say.
Yeah. I think also like at the time, and I remember thinking this, that I liked the mini games the most in Mario Party. Like that was the thing I was there for. And so when a game was saying like, that's all we got, I remember being like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to even fuck with the board game stuff of Mario Party. And I think that like that opinion has, I wouldn't say reversed since then, but like I really appreciate the board game stuff when I'm playing Mario Party still. Yeah.
It lets the energy and the intensity just come down a little bit so you can breathe. Right? Strategize a bit. Whereas this one, it just feels, it's just the intensity never goes down. It's just like all of a sudden you find yourself, the next minigame is starting. You're like, oh God, what's happening? I'm on a hovercraft now.
Which is very of that era to like just want to give you no breathing room whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's, this is still kind of the like Dreamcast era, 2001, like starting to get into the PS2 era. And so it makes sense, sort of that design philosophy. It also, I think, is very in line with the market that Xbox was trying to go after. Kind of like, you know, a console for grown-ups. You know, this is like, these are kind of almost PC games.
Grown-ups don't play board games.
No.
They just want to play mini games.
They don't play with Mario anymore, you know? No. They need these batitude teenagers.
Cut to Master Hand throwing Mario into underneath his bed, a la Woody from Toy Story.
I don't want to play with you anymore. Yeah, I also had, I wouldn't say exactly the same experience, but I have been on either sides of these opinions, because I like Steven when I was thinking about Fuzion Frenzy. It was like, oh, that game was great. Like It was incredible and fun.
I have very fond memories of Fuzion Frenzy.
Yeah. And so it was kind of strange to go back to it and be like, I remembered like more than this. Like, I feel like there was more of the game. Maybe we just didn't play it for long enough, but like, yeah, it was kind of different than what I remembered it being. Not bad, but just like different.
Yeah, the experience did feel different. I felt like when I played it as a kid, it felt like this very robust experience that was like kind of long and intense.
Yes.
And then maybe it was just like my kid brain just needing constant stimulation that it vibed more with it at the time. But yeah, now like I said, in my grown-up mindset, didn't quite hit as well. But I wouldn't say it's bad, but definitely is a game of that era. The controls are a little wonky, but I think that does add a little bit to its charm, right?
So
of minigame games of that era, like Mario Party as well. Very janky controls, especially the N64 ones, man.
Oh my God, yeah, it's so floaty and you never know where you're trying to go.
Makes no sense. So it's hard to hold that against it, but yeah, I think there probably would be some more fun to be had if the controls were a little tighter.
Yeah, I sort of feel like Fortnite could probably make this video game now, and it would be fun.
What can't Fortnite do, truly?
I mean, yeah, they have the like creator studio, so like you can kind of do whatever in there.
They have the what? The creator studio?
Yeah, so like essentially you can make games in Fortnite and like publish those.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is cool. Like people have come up with like really interesting stuff. And I guess you could see like games like Fall Guys as almost an extension of this kind of ideology. Cause I think Mario Party has remained largely structurally very similar to what it was back then. But Fall Guys is almost closer to Fuzion Frenzy, like architecture, in the sense that like it's just games. That's the only thing. Obviously, that comes with the like battle royale thing too, of like your people are getting constantly knocked out too. Which like I will also say I love Fall Guys. So like
I did enjoy Fall Guys quite a bit.
Yeah, that was a very good game, and so like maybe we could see that as sort of the evolution of this idea into the modern age.
Yeah, the modern age of gaming. Fall Guys.
Which is cool. Yeah, I like this game. I think it's fun. I'd be interested to play it, for a little bit longer to see like what, is there more game types that we could have played?
Yeah, it's true.
But then also I wonder if a teenager would just enjoy this game more, you know?
It's true.
It's possible. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we might just be different.
We also may need to try it with Bud Heavies. I think that may be the thing that unlocks
true.
The game.
The Topo Chico is just too light.
Yeah, we were I think we were about midway through our Topo journey at this point.
Yeah, I need more gravity.
Sure, yeah, I need to be held onto the earth.
Yeah, I need more weight, more heaviness.
Just to be clear, this is Fuzion spelled with a Z, Fuzion Frenzy.
Which is much cooler than regular Fuzion.
It is quite a bit cooler. Also makes it kind of hard to find on the internet, or at least the Xbox store, because I was like, I swear it was here, and then you're like, it's with a Z, not an S. Ah, okay.
Oh, that's right. You spelled it like nuclear fusion.
Correct, yeah. Was it on Game Pass? We didn't have much trouble playing this.
I think it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think it was like one of the classics.
Yeah, something like that.
Xbox
so it is
classics or something.
It is pretty playable if anybody wants to give it a look.
Yeah, give it a go. See if we're wrong about this game. We just need to play it again.
Video certainly is wrong, but see if we are too.
The show video was very certain that it was right, but it's maybe a little too harsh.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stephen, thank you for your suggestion. This is fun to play. Hey, we reclaimed a minute, David. We're up to
nice. Five extra minutes. Man, we got the world at our fingertips now.
It's true. We're saving them up for one thing.
I'm going to hit that Zawardo.
Okay, the fourth game, David.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go!
It is Snake, Rattle, and Roll.
Ooh, man. Oh, man. Okay, I'm ready.
This game was a fucking journey. This is so wild.
This was a fever dream.
Yeah. So this one was suggested to us by Jwithy. Jwithy had to say about Snake, Rattle, and Roll. Okay, so I've been meaning to suggest this game because it is pretty much bonkers, and one of the games I grew up playing on the NES. The isometric view, the weird game mechanics, I was like, yeah, what will they do with this one? but I figured it was too obscure. And then Nintendo announced they're adding it to the NES Classics on Nintendo Online, which I did verify. It is out on there now. I guess it's not that obscure. So yeah, play this one. It's hard. I never came close to beating it, but also never forget it.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with any of that. Yeah, it's bonkers, and I will simply never be able to forget this video game.
Yes, it sticks with you.
Yeah.
It definitely sticks with you.
Okay, so this game came out July of 1990 for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes.
And as suggested, this was also made by Rare. So Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, and Anticipation.
Great.
Oddly enough. I do have a review from Video Games, parentheses, German.
Oh.
Great. And I'll read you their mangled up review.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The NES game from 3 years ago is still as fun as it is now. While there is nothing new about it, the game hasn't changed much over the years. In film, the filmmaker can improvise the performance. Notable differences with the NES version are minimal. After a while, the difficulty level increases significantly, making the game even harder. The controls that will allow for three-dimensional movement are simple, but take some getting used to. Note, clicking on this link will not take you directly to the website. Now, enter the URL in the address bar and click Submit to check. And they gave that a 7 out of 10, David.
What happened at the end there?
I think their HTML was leaking a little bit.
Sounds like it. Their review got hacked.
I think so. Yeah, there's a little bit of they're trying to get me to click on their nefarious virus link.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I love also in film the filmmaker can improvise the performance. Just a little bit of commentary on making a film in there.
I know, random.
Yeah, it's
what are
nice.
those Germans doing? Who knows?
What is Snake, Rattle, and Roll, David? If you can even answer that question.
I was about to say that's a fantastic question.
Yeah,
I'll do my best. It is a isometric snake-like. No, I don't know. It's an isometric adventure game, I guess you would call it. Where you take on the role of two little snakes. They go around eating like orbs. Is that what they were? Mm-hmm. Eggs? Something. And whenever orbs, I guess. Yeah, whenever you get one, collect one, you get longer, right? And so there are certain like doors that you have to get a certain number of like links to your snake to get through. Yeah. And then there are other things in the world that will attack you and take those links away, and you have to go and like chase them down, and sometimes you fall off an edge and into a water, and you hear the Jaws music playing, and you have to get out because you're going to get eaten by the shark. And it's all very confusing. It doesn't tell you a single thing about what you're supposed to do. You just have to intuit everything.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't tell you like that you're supposed to collect these things. It doesn't tell you that you need them to get through doors. It doesn't tell you that sometimes going into a hole will get like one of those orbs to come out. It's a very strange game, but at the same time, it has a decent amount of challenge, but doesn't like challenge you excessively. And it was actually I actually kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of fun. Is there anything else that I missed with Snake, Rattle, and Roll that you think is important?
I don't think so, but I think part of knowing what Snake, Rattle, and Roll is playing it. Like there's no words that I can use as a human.
You have to experience it because it is a video game. This is a video game that you must experience to really understand. Yeah, it sort of goes beyond the like corporeal understanding. I can only explain it so well with words. Yeah. Yeah, I need to explain it with dance. That would actually be effective, I think. I think so, actually, yeah. It's so weird because like all the movement is really weird. It's all kind of stilted, and like the animation frames are bizarre. Your snake, when he like sticks his tongue out, looks very strange. Oh, that's right. You can stick the tongue out to eat the things. That's right. Yes. It took me so long to figure out how to actually eat something because I was sticking it out and I was like, I should be eating this, I think. Sticking it out, huh? I was sticking it out. What that snake? No, not what that snake do. Not what that snake do. I will not participate. A little too blue. And yeah, I just don't really know how to explain it. But yeah, I don't think you missed anything. Okay, nothing crucial. Got it. No. Okay. This was such a bizarre video game. Like at a certain point, I had to like tap out and just watch you play because I was like, it is so much to try and maintain focus enough to play this video game that I sort of need to observe it at a certain moment. Yeah, like there is like I can't even begin. I don't even know where to begin. Drunk Cthulhu has you. First of all, Chuck Thulu has me for sure. This game is designed by Chuck Thulu. First of all, there's the visuals. Yeah. The palette is almost like Harlequin-esque or like
yeah.
Right? Just weird colors, like a children's Harlequin room is kind of what it feels like, right? The palette is strange. Like the textures of the world are strange, right?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of squares on the floor, but then you don't move along the squares. You move diagonally across them, which is just a mind fuck for sure, because you're already at this tilted isometric view. And then it looks like, oh, I should just be able to travel along the squares, but you don't. You travel like across them, obliquely across them. Yeah. And it's just, it makes no sense. So the controls are very disorienting at a baseline about just how to navigate this world. So you'll be right next to something that you need to like use your tongue to gobble up to get bigger, right?
Yeah.
And you just don't know what input to use because it's just so baffling visually. You're like, I'm just gonna guess, and guessing usually worked, thankfully enough.
Yeah. It when I was first like starting to get into like FromSoft games and people were saying like it's good because it doesn't teach you anything. I was like, in my mind, I played enough NES games like this and I was like, oh, I don't think I can do that. Cause like this is the kind of not teaching where it's just chaos and like there's almost no indication of what you need to do. Like when we both beat the first level, I was like, oh, that's it. That's the end of the level, I guess.
Yeah, we were both just like, maybe this is what we're supposed to do. And then we did it. And it was like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we just kind of like stopped while the game realized we did it. And then it worked.
And so I'm realizing, I think that like, anyway, to go back to what I was saying, point being like, I was initially very scared of Dark Souls for that reason, because I was like, I don't know, man. Like I remember that era of games and it was kind of tough. But I'm also realizing that it's kind of a spice, because this is a very spicy video game as far as not teaching you what to do.
Yes. Yeah.
It gives you nothing.
This is the ghost pepper.
This is a ghost pepper. And like, I get that is a fun experience. And I had fun playing this game because it was just otherworldly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I imagine if you need like a little bit more explanation for your video games, you might be like, dude, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah. There's no story. You're just these two snakes and they're rattling and rolling around this world. Yeah. Collecting things, eating things with their tongues, jumping very precariously.
Yeah, the platforming is pretty challenging at certain points.
So hard.
Like when, you were talking about like when you have to like get up on top of a waterfall. It's like a tough jump again, because you're not really sure like what direction do I need to move to get up there.
Yes, like I'm pointed in the right direction right now, but what direction do I need to put input on the controller to get me to the right spot?
Yeah,
and then if I
fall, the waterfall.
If I fall, I hit the river below, which will throw me over the second waterfall into like the ocean where the shark is.
The sharky waters, yeah.
So it's kind of high stakes.
It's intense, but also, yes, quite fun. Mm-hmm. I think bonkers is the right way to describe this game.
Yes.
Just like defies knowledge in a way.
Yes, it is something, like you said, like we've been saying, needs to be experienced rather than explained. It is one of a kind, truly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's on the Nintendo like online thing, so you can play this on your Switch.
Yeah.
I will say I might recommend playing this in docked mode, because I had some success in just rotating the controller physically and trying to play it like that, because if you can align it with the directions like the grid, it helps a lot versus like having to like try in your mind to be like, all right, down moves me right and left moves me down, sort of. Like,
wow. So you're not playing with tilt controls, you're playing with a tilted controller.
Correct. Yeah, I have tilted the 6 axis itself.
Sure. I completely understand, honestly.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Hell yeah. Hey, well, that's Snake, Rattle, and Roll, another fun video game.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Jwithy, for this kind suggestion.
Thank you, Jay.
We've reclaimed another 4 minutes.
Whoa.
So for this next game, we have 24 honest minutes to talk about it if we want to.
Great. I think that's appropriate.
I think so too. The final game that we were suggested to play by Zhesbe in the Discord. Yeah. This was just a Discord suggestion that I must have just like written down at some point because it wasn't in our email. And I was like, wait a second, where did this come from? Mm-hmm. Just in the Discord.
The heavens.
Yeah, the heavens. They had suggested that we play River City Girls 2.
Yes.
Did you like fuck with these games at all before at all?
I did not. No, I'd never played River City Girls 1. I'd heard of both of these games and I knew that they were supposed to be good, but no, I never played them because I think they're supposed to be a spiritual successor to, what is it? River City Brawl? What is that one game?
River City Ransom is one of them.
Gotcha.
It's in this line of games called Kunio-kun is the like Japanese name for the series.
Oh, okay.
Which there's like kind of a lot of them. The full title, Neketsu Koha Kunio-kun, translates to Hot Blood Tough Guy Kunio, which I really, really like.
That's great. Hot Blood Tough Guy.
But yeah, there's like a handful of them. I think largely they were Japan only releases until Downtown Smash Dodgeball. There's got to be a River City Ransom game in here. Like that is definitely the game that came over here. Or I wonder if that was even like in the same series. But regardless, yeah. So like it is sort of a like successor to those games, and I think it's considered like a spin-off of them. Mm-hmm. But regardless, this game was released December 15th of 2022, I should say.
Okay.
Pretty recently, all things considered.
Yeah, it's fairly recent.
This was made by Way Forward, which I was most recently familiar with them from the Advanced Wars 1+2 boot camp or whatever that was.
Reboot Camp.
Yeah, Reboot Camp. There you go. It was like the remake of Advanced Wars, Shantae and the Seven Sirens. And then, of course, David, The Mummy Demastered.
Excuse me? What?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what that game was. So it sounded cool.
The Mummy with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, with Brandon Franzia.
Brandon Franzia.
With Brandon Franzia. I do have a review from Jugando Casualmente.
Wow.
I presume Spanish outlet.
Yeah.
And I'll read you their review, David.
Is that casual gaming? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because those who believe the news are not in a hurry to follow it. River City Girls 2 is a good movie, if not the best. Now we have more battles, areas, missions, and combos aimed at aerial combat. There are some surprises too, but that part of the franchise's DNA. And yes, the story benefits from Misako's strong writing and Kiko's resilience. And they gave that an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, great. I like how they have a little dig at the lamestream media in the beginning there. It sounded like.
Yeah, why? What is that?
But the rest of the review was above board, so that's good.
Yeah. What's River City Girls 2, David?
It is a side-scrolling beat 'em up where you take on the role. I guess you can take on the role of a lot of different folks, but the game is really starring two teenage high school girls who just go around kicking ass. There is a story, but it's pretty, I don't think super important to the game, which is really you're just there to do cool combos and beat people up. There are lots of different stores you can visit to get better combos and like better like stats, essentially, right?
Yeah,
so there is like a little
RPG
element
and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a very fun and deep fighting system in this side-scrolling street brawler game. That was a lot of fun, I thought.
Yeah, I was really impressed with this game.
Yeah,
I like side-scrolling beat 'em ups like as a genre.
Yeah,
and so like I don't know, I had never thought about like what does that genre look like if you build on it a little bit. Because I feel like I really only ever experienced like the super early era of it, right? So like the Turtles in Time, River City Ransom, Final Fight, and all that shit.
The Simpsons,
yes. And like all of those games structurally are very similar. They're all like, you just walk to the right, beat up dudes, beat a boss, and that's it. Right. And this game has that. It's still a beat 'em up, but it like builds on so much more of that. It does.
It feels like a fully fledged game.
Yeah. Like it's like open world, which is cool. Like you are literally wandering around the streets and you will fight people, but you always have kind of like a mission, and you can also like go wherever you want to for the most part. Like there's areas that are closed off to you initially, but yeah, you can just like wander around the town, which is great.
Yeah.
I also love the conceit of like, yes, you can wander around here, but everybody in this town loves fighting so much that like you will get into fights everywhere, which is incredible.
Yeah. People are just ready to brawl constantly.
Yes, it's very good. So there's that. And then also the fighting system is like initially seems very simple and then sneakily is like, hey, we're actually a fighting game.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
It's very deep. It just, it does a great job of just starting you off slow and just letting you get used to the very basics, and then just extrapolates and expands upon that by your ability to use your currency to buy new moves.
Yeah.
And which get pretty ridiculous and cool, I think. They're like very fun evolutions of the moves, and that are also very indicative of like the character's style that you're playing. So everyone plays differently and has like a flashy style to their kit of moves that they have, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. All of the like, they have essentially like super moves too, which are really great. And they all feel like anime. Like it all feels like JoJo at a certain point.
Yep.
Which are all great. Do you remember if you played, did you play as Misako or Kyoko?
I played as girl with the green shorts, I think, with the short black hair.
Yes, Misako.
Yes.
Yeah, and like the pink backpack.
Yes.
I had to play as Riki. Just absolutely had to play as Riki.
Riki was cool.
Cool dude. Just constantly wearing a jacket with just nothing under it. Looking real mad. It's real great. Love that.
And the game was very self-aware of how ridiculous he is, which is also
absolutely.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was not there. They are not serious characters. They're all very caricatures of these archetypes of characters, which is fun.
Yeah. They're pretty tropey, but not in a way that's like painful or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, just again, like, you know, there's enough kind of expectations defying with like the characters themselves that it doesn't end up feeling bad. It's like, you know, the tough ones here are not necessarily the big buff guys. It's like the two girls who just love to fucking fight. Like that's their shit. Yeah. So all of that's there. There's also like leveling up and shit like that. You eventually have like stats and stuff that you're tracking.
Yep.
And so it's almost like this Trojan horse of a video game where they like allow you to play just a beat 'em up for the first like probably 20 minutes. And then they sneak in a bunch of other parts of the game that I like love. Every time they added something new, I'm like, oh God, yeah, this is like another kind of video game that I haven't played before.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like the writing was fun. The graphics and like the presentation is top notch as well.
Yeah, the style of it's incredible. It all looks really, really cool.
They put a lot of love into this game.
You can tell that they like this kind of game. And that they're also interested in like, what does it mean to be, you know, of this genre in 2022 for, you know, for this game's sake. Also there's like you were saying, the story doesn't feel like so important, but it is fun that it's there because it gives you kind of something to do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Of like, I know, you know, where I'm going and who I'm fighting and, you know, who the like first like arc is that I think it's the main antagonist from the first game shows up and is like, hey, I need you to like stop my like brother and dad from doing something because they're like essentially going to go off the rails, I think. Yeah. And so your first encounter, you like fight her brother in this like, I think it's like a movie theater or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That boss was kind of hard.
I also liked that in that when we were playing it, we got beat like 3 or 4 times. And I felt good about it because I was like, I feel like we have the skills to do this. It's not necessarily that we need to go like grind and get better items because it was like, we can learn his patterns well enough to beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just pattern recognition eventually.
Which is really cool because I think the roots of this series, like I'm sure that there are ways to do like no hit runs of those games, but I feel like a lot of the design was like, all right, at the end of the second level of the Simpsons game, like the boss is kind of intended to kick your ass a little bit. So you'll put some more money into it, you know?
Absolutely.
Whereas like this one feels more, you know, in line with modern game design where, you know, if you just kind of pay attention to the game enough, like you will get better at it. Yeah. And again, with the fighting game stuff, like learn your moves, know what they do and like when to use them.
Absolutely.
It was really cool. I liked the conceit that like you got expelled from school in the beginning and you just kind of laid on the couch for a couple of months and got like bad at fighting, which is why you're level 1.
I did enjoy that. Yeah. That rationale for debuffing you in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I was just gaming for a couple months, and I guess now I got to go outside again.
Yeah,
just got to get off the gamer couch.
And I also think that this is another game where I'm really glad that we played it together. Because like I played it on my own a little bit, and I will say it's still very good.
Yeah,
but it's infinitely more fun with another person around.
It is, and I think a big part of it is when you are in a battle, being like, "Oh shit, did you just see what I just did? Do you see what this new move is?" I think one of the moves that the girl I was playing as is just like she just headbutts someone super hard. I'm just like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" They just go flying across the screen. It's so good. It's just it's joyous. It's just has a lot of fun being itself, and it wants you to have fun doing these crazy moves. Like, it doesn't make the move super hard to pull off like I think that a lot of fighting games do. So it feels like more entry level in that way, where the cool visuals are just like a short memorized pattern away. You don't have to time it super hard, but you just have to know how to activate it, which is fun.
Yeah, it's definitely like looser than like Street Fighter in a way.
Yeah.
But it still kind of triggers the same stuff in my mind where I'm like, I'm playing a fighting game. Like, I need to know like spacing and how to approach and all this sort of shit. So all that stuff is really cool. I also love that whenever you like get knocked down, like your health runs out. If you're playing with somebody else, you're like, soul starts to kind of like float up above you, but if one of your allies comes over, they can revive you, but the way that they do that is they have to punch your body.
Just punch your soul back into your body. It's so
until
good.
Your soul comes back down from like floating above you and goes back into your body. It's incredible. That is such a funny way to visualize like how to like bring someone back to life, is just punching them back to life.
I love it. It's just it's fun. It's just a fun way of thinking about it and interacting with the game, of doing something that is, you know, what Call of Duty would be like, here's your AED kit. All right. Now shock them back to life.
Exactly.
It's just like, no, just punch them, punch their heart. They'll start living again.
I love whenever a game or really anything has like clear rules for how this world is like similar to ours, but also so different.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Of just like, fighting is the thing in this world. And like, it's not like we're fighting to survive kind of thing. It's just like everybody likes to do it. And that's how our world works. You know,
everyone fights. Yeah.
Everybody fights. And that's the deal. Yeah. Great video game. I really, really liked it. And I wouldn't say like this went under the radar. I think this game is pretty well played.
Yeah.
But I certainly hadn't really like known very much about it. And so I was like kind of taken by surprise with this one.
Yeah. No, I think that this is a game that deserves more flowers. It deserves all the flowers it can get. Yeah,
I think so. Some of the reviews I had read had said like, hey, this is pretty good, but it's largely very similar to the first one. And like, it hasn't been so long since this came out that I'm like, oh, that was the last one in the series. But like, I feel like Brendan and Steven over on Into the Aether have brought this up a little bit kind of recently, and specifically surrounding like the Castlevania series, where a lot of the reviews for those games, and then also the Final Fantasy Tactics, I think, games. Yeah. It's like the reviews of the last one in the series were like, this is good, but it's more of the same, which is, it reads really weird in hindsight, because like to our minds now, it's like, yeah, but that was the last one they did. So like there's some significance to it, right? Yeah. And so like what distinguishes it now that it's been so far? And so like it's always kind of strange to see that, because like whenever I'm, you know, to me this feels like a very fresh experience. So if one is more of it, then like great, I would like more of that, please. Keep it coming. But also, yeah, it's you know, it's only been 2 years since that came out, so I wouldn't really expect that like this is the last one in the series by any measure. Well, joke's on you. I didn't play the first one, so this was brand new experience to me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd really recommend if like that sounds good to you, I'd recommend giving this one a look. It's pretty fun. Yeah, no, it's a very fun time. If you liked any sort of side-scrolling brawling game, if you like anime, this is probably going to be up your alley. It's in the world of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, the Shredder's Revenge one. Like I feel like that is an interpretation that is very kind of down the middle, or like very faithful to what those original games were. Classic. Yeah, and same thing with the Streets of Rage game that came out fairly recently. Yeah. Whereas this one I think is like taking that stuff, but just trying some other stuff too, going in a little bit of a different direction. It's building a little bit more onto the bones of that game style.
right?
Yeah.
It's trying to expand a bit. And I appreciate that. And I think it does a very good job of doing that. It feels natural and it feels like a good progression of the genre.
Yeah, totally. And that's River City Girls 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love it. Was that 25 minutes of River City Girls 2?
I don't know. I stopped the timer at 15 minutes and then just kind of let it roll. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll come out in the wash.
Great.
Hey, thank you for listening to this sprint and marathon that we did. I realized that we did the same thing for episode 200, I think, where we did 4 games and then just out of nowhere, we're like, what if we did 5 as well? Like, for no reason, this wasn't a numbered episode that we're like, hey, it's 250 or whatever. We're just like, what if 5 though?
Yeah. Surprise. Here we are.
Yeah. I sort of like this format sometimes when it's just like a barrage of video games like this.
Yeah.
Obviously it's harder to prep for because we have to play like a bunch of them, but it's kind of fun.
It can be fun to knock out a bunch of the backlog recommendations real quick.
Yeah. I also very much do want to play most of the games that people have suggested to us.
Absolutely.
And like, if we played all of them like 1 week at a time, it's like, I'm looking at like 5 years from now, whenever we finish with the suggestions.
If we stop now, taking
right. Yeah. If we
suggestions.
close the gate on new suggestions. So I would like to get to some of them. So this is a cool way to do it. Had a lot of fun. I hope that you as listeners feel like there's enough time devoted to your games as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a great time with all of them.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, hey, thank you for listening. Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet this time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We are on the TWG network, The Worst Garbage. We have a link to the Discord on our website, which is podtimism.com. You know about shit on the website. It's self-explanatory. You'll get it. If you want to suggest a game, you can do that too on the website. Yeah. Thank you, Scott Wilkinson, for your work on our podcast artwork. It's great. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, listener.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Do you have any gaming wisdom to end us with, David?
Ooh, yeah. You know, I guess my gaming wisdom is try to treat every day like you treat your first time playing Snake, Rattle, and Roll.
True. Yeah.
Just with no expectations. Really be curious what's going on. Don't be judgmental about it, but just experience it. Flow with it.
A misunderstanding of like basic geometry. And like, do I know how this world works? Maybe I don't.
Maybe you're just walking into a wall a couple times, you know. But yeah, give it a go. Be curious. Be open-minded. Experience the snake, the rattle, and the roll of it all.
Yeah. The snake, the rattle, the snake, the rattle, and the roll.
And the roll. The and is part of the game. It's true.
It's really important. True. Yeah. Conjunctions like that are important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is a fact.
I'll snake, rattle, and roll you next week.
Whoa.
David.
If there's an America next week.
Oh God. Yeah. This is coming out after the election. So good Lord.
Yes. This is the night of the night before the election. It's giving me big dawn of the final day vibes right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I will never be as, I think, shocked as I was in 2016, but like, it's not going to make that feel much better if things go the wrong way, you know?
Yeah.
I hope you're living in a good world, listener, on Sunday.
Yeah.
And if it's brutal, then I don't know. We can still be good to each other.
Godspeed. Yeah.
We'll still be happy about video games.
You can still be kind.
I think so. And I'm going to keep trying to do good, you know?
Same.
And I hope you can too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
TWG, the worst garbage, the online.